Hey guys, it's Sandy from Balloon Utopia Market with Balloons, and today I'm going to show you how to make a balloon sponge guy parody. Now, this parody gets a lot of attention if you're doing a trade show booth and you want something that's going to draw people over and make them wait in line for hours and hours. This one's sure to do the trick. Bear in mind that this is not a beginner's design. This really is a bit of an advanced technique here. But nonetheless, I'm going to show it to you, and with some practice, I believe you probably can master it. One of the other things that I wanted to tell you is that we are going through this from a Snap Guide that I made a while back. Snap Guide is a pretty cool little app that you can download on your smartphone, and then they also have a website, snapguide.com. It's step-by-step photo instructions on how to do all sorts of various things that people upload, and so this was one that I had shared there. And one of the reasons that I'm doing it from this rather than recording from the beginning is because I'm playing with editing programs and learning to work with different editing mediums and recording programs and stuff. So since I already had this one, I thought, why not play with it and let you guys have the benefit from it. Anyway, so let's start with the supplies that you're going to need. You're going to need 5 yellow 260 balloons. The 260 balloons, remember, are those long, skinny balloons, the ones that you use for tying animals and things like that. You're going to need 1 red 260 balloon, 1 brown 260 balloon, 2 white 260 balloons, 2 5-inch eyeball balloons or white rounds, a black Sharpie and a light blue Sharpie, a pair of scissors, and a balloon pump. Makes everything a lot easier to have a balloon pump. All right, so let's get started learning how to make this sponge guy. So here's the supplies all laid out, ready to go. All right, so first things first, you're going to inflate the yellow balloons. You're going to inflate them about probably about 3/4 of the way full. You're going to leave about a 3 to 4 inch tip uninflated. These balloons do have to make a fair number of twists. So you do want to have room for it to move, but not too much, because we also need a lot of area, a lot of surface space from these balloons. Inflate 1 white balloon and 1 brown balloon the same way, also leaving about a 3 to 4 inch tip on it. And then the red balloon, the red 260, and the other white 260, you can inflate to about 8 inches or so. We're not going to do that much with those balloons, so actually you're probably going to cut off the excess at the end. You can inflate the small round balloons or the eyeball balloons, if you have the printed eyeballs, to about 2.5 inches. And try to tie it off close to the nozzle, not close to where the balloon is inflated, because you are going to need to push the air and do some twisting to it. So let's start with the first yellow balloon. You're going to take it and you're going to make a small bubble in it. That bubble should be about maybe 1/2 inch, 1/4 of an inch. And you're going to hold on to that bubble while you do the same thing to the second yellow balloon. So normally what I'll do is I'll kind of hold it with my pinky to my palm, and that frees up my thumb and my forefinger and my middle finger to still grab and twist. Okay, and so while you're controlling those small bubbles, do the same thing on the second balloon. And then here's where it gets a little bit tricky, because what you're going to do is you're going to attach about a 5-inch bubble. So you have your little bubble, which you're controlling with your pinky, and then you're going to make another 5-inch bubble. And you're going to attach that 5-inch bubble to the little tiny bubble of the second balloon. And then you're going to make a 5-inch bubble on the second balloon and attach it to the little bubble on the first balloon. Okay, and what we're doing is a technique known as a flat weave. Okay, so the picture's a little bit blurrier, but you see here that basically what you have is you have both balloons, and what's in the center is 2 5-inch bubbles side by side coming from each of the 2 balloons. Okay, now on each side you're going to make a small bubble so that you can go up a level. Okay, and every time we move up a level, we need to have this tiny little spacer bubble, which is going to rise it up to the next level. And that bubble should really be like a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch, not too big at all. Okay, and do the same thing on the other side, making sure to control those bubbles until they're secured. So what you don't see is my hands out of the picture, holding on to the tops of the balloons, so those bubbles aren't going to untwist. But if I had let go of those balloons, they would untwist. No balloon is secure until it is locked to another piece of another balloon. So exactly like you did in the beginning, you're going to bring one balloon across and twist it onto the bubble on the other side. And then with the second balloon, the one that's sticking straight up, you're going to come over and you're going to do the same thing. Just like that. And you'll find that with the second balloon, sometimes what it's easier to do is you since that bubble, it's, you can't really get in there and you don't want to try to push the balloon through. So if you lay it across and you've already pre-twisted that 5-inch bubble, then what you can do is you can lay them next to each other and roll one over the other. Anyway, so you're going to keep doing this until those balloon pieces are too small. We're going to make a total of 5 layers with the yellow balloon. So once you've used up the original balloons, then you just twist off a couple of bubbles on the 2 new balloons and twist those in, and we're going to keep on going. So there you go. You just continue that pattern until you have 5 layers. Now, it looks a little bit ugly at the moment. We're going to clean up all the uglies at the end. So the way it works is that first we build the structure and then we do the cosmetics. All right, so now we're going to make a small bubble in the yellow so that we can go up a level. Only this time we're not going to go across with the yellow. We're going to come across with the white. So we're making SpongeBob's shirt. Okay, so you're going to, and we only have 1 white, not 2. So we are going to kind of go back and forth. Like so. And then you're going to put a small pinch twist, and that's going to hold it tight and also match the bubble that we have on the other end. You don't have to. It'll just look a little bit nicer if you do. Okay, so then we're coming back with that white balloon and we're doubling back over. And now you're going to make a small bubble in the yellow and you're going to attach the brown balloon to it. So now we're going to do his pants. So you see that he's actually upside down at the moment. So you're going to repeat the process that you just did, bringing that brown balloon back and forth on both sides. And once you've secured it, then you can take what's left of the yellow balloon sticking up and you're going to put a loop twist in it, just like a dog head, a simple dog head, and that's going to be his foot. So I know that he has black shoes and the tube socks and all of that, but when we do balloonacatures and balloon parodies, we go for the things that make it most recognizable. So while it's nice and great and even more amazing when you do put all the detail in, this will get you there and get you that wow reaction. Okay, so you're going to make the same thing on the other side with the foot. You see I still have all the pieces just shooting out all over the place. That'll be cleaned up later. Okay, so now you're going to twist a small bubble in the remaining white balloon and let the air out of the bubble, the balloon that's above the twisted balloon. And then you're going to tie it off. The reason that we did that was just so that you didn't, if you just like popped it off without kind of controlling it a little bit, if you didn't have it really wrapped tightly, you might have deflated the whole piece. So this is just kind of a little safeguard to make sure that, the integrity of your sculpture is going to remain intact. So it's going to look just like this. Okay. And eventually those will kind of become like, maybe his sleeves or something. And you're going to do the same thing with the brown balloon. And then in the center yellow bubble, the third level, you're going to pick a side now to be the front. Okay? And whatever side is the front, you're going to put a split in the center yellow bubble and also in the white bubble. And so the way that you're going to do that is you're just going to kind of find the center, pinch it, and then twist one side. And that's going to give you that connection point right there in the center. And that's exactly what it's for. We're going to be connecting things there. So now you're going to take the last yellow balloon and you're going to make like a small dog head, which is going to be, a bubble and a loop, and that's going to be a hand. And then you're going to make a 4 to 5 inch bubble to be the arm. You want to give it a little fold, a little bend, so that it's not just sticking straight out, but it has a little bit of, natural movement to it. And you're going to twist it into the extra bubbles in the center of the body. So that's probably about where you ran out of balloon and you had to tie in the other balloon. I know it's strange that his arms are kind of coming straight out of the middle of his head instead of from what looks to be a shirt, but it just kind of works better in terms of the balance of the sculpture, I guess. Okay, and then you're going to bring the rest of the balloon around the back and twist it into the extra bubbles on the other side. And then you're going to repeat the process of making the dog head chain, that is the bubble and the loop, to be the hand. So it should look like, well, you'll see in just a moment, like this. And then, like I said, secure and cut off the extra pieces. And the largest extra piece, you want to save it because that's going to be the nose. Okay, so then you're going to reinflate that largest piece, like so. And you're going to put 2 tiny little pinch twists at the end of it there. Okay, and so remember, the way that you do the pinch twist is that you twist off a bubble and then you kind of fold it onto itself and squeeze it and pull it up and pinch and twist until it looks like a bean or an ear. And you're going to do 2 side by side. So another way that you could do 2 side by side is to just make like a double bubble. So you make one bubble and then you make a second bubble and then you kind of lock them together. And then you're gonna squish them down, and one goes to the front and one goes to the back as you twist them. After you do that, you're going to manicure everything, cut off all the extra bits. I like to call those the balloon guts. And you're going to take the second white balloon and make about 1.5 inches to a 2-inch bubble. These are going to be his teeth. Okay, and so you're just going to do it like that. You see, you're going to make 2 bubbles, lock them together using the nozzle. Make sure that you have it good and secured together because we are going to get rid of the rest of that white piece. So you really want to make sure it's well tied. And then, using the connection point that we made in the front of the balloon, in the front of the sculpture, in that middle yellow piece in the flat weave, we're going to basically take the pinch twist and just kind of like hook them in and wrap them around to that connection point. Like this. Okay, so you see the sculpture is starting to take shape. Now, take the white bubbles, which are going to be the teeth, and twist it onto the nose. So I usually go kind of up and around and over and through, and I really sew my projects together. You know, I really over twist because I really want them to be very secure so that even if one piece goes down, the rest of the sculpture will remain intact, making it a lot easier to make repairs if necessary, or for it still to look pretty good and, you know, maintain the integrity of it. All right, so it's going to look like that. And then you're going to cut off the excess after you make sure that everything is secure. So if you're doing this live in front of people, about the time that you get to this point, everybody starts going, "Oh, it's SpongeBob! I know who that is!" I'm sorry, Sponge Guy. We have no affiliation with Nickelodeon, and remember that this is a parody. So, anyhow, I generally, if I'm doing this, I won't tell them what I'm making. And I oftentimes will take cues from what I see the kids wearing. So if I see a kid come up and he's wearing a shirt with the yellow sponge guy, then I'm going to say, "Oh, I know what to make for you." So again, this is not the type of sculpture that you would make necessarily in a line twisting situation or an expo where you're trying to get balloons out to hundreds and hundreds of kids in a short amount of time. This is something where you want to create an attraction, where you want people to be a captive audience, where you want them to be hanging around for a while. And you want that wow factor over an efficiency of, you know, getting a balloon out into everybody's hands as fast as possible. Now, take the eyeballs and tie them together, and you want to leave a little bit of the nozzle on each side. You want to tie them so the knot itself is tight. And remember, always pull the knot from the end, from the nozzles where it's not inflated. Don't pull the eyeballs, because then you're going to put a friction tear on the side of the balloon that's inflated, and you're going to have a slow leak. So you want to do it so that you see that there's some space between them, so that when I push in the next step, when we push the air to the end to make a pinch twist, we've got room to do that. Okay, so then you're going to take that and you're going to twist those into the nose. So what I do is I just go up under the teeth and bring them around and then twist them a few times. Now here's where it's a little bit hard, because you're gonna kind of push the air into the neck of the balloon, and then you're gonna kind of twist that off and make a bubble and a pinch twist. So, and this is going to force the eyes to look straight instead of kind of wonky off to the side. Now, if you're just using white balloons that are not printed, then you don't have to do this step, because you're going to draw the eyeballs anywhere you want. But if you're using a printed balloon that's a top print like these are, you need to make them look straight. Unless you want them looking off, you know, to either, you know, kind of off to the sides, maybe like, I don't know, a fish, or there's some other sculptures where that might make sense. But for Spongebob, I really want him looking straight forward. I'm sorry, for Sponge Guy. So you're going to do that on both eyes, making those pinch twists. And like I said, that's going to kind of push them down and forward for you. So there's a little closer look. Again, these pinch twists really are an advanced technique, but once you master them, they are the building blocks of pretty much every multi-balloon and advanced balloon creation. So it's a real important twist to learn if you're a beginning twister, but can also be frustrating as well. So at the end, it's going to look like this. So you see that he's kind of looking straight forward, and sorry for that. We have, okay, sorry about that little interruption there. Anyhow, so you really see that the whole thing is starting to take shape. There's only a little bit left to do, in fact. Now we're going to take that red balloon, and we're going to twist off a tiny bubble and pinch twist it. Again, another pinch twist, and this time we're going to do a series of 3, and you really want these to be teeny, 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 tiny, otherwise it looks funny. So what we're making is we're making the tie. And the reason that I do 3 pinch twists instead of just 1 or 2 is it just looks a little bit better, and also makes it a little bit more obvious that this is a tie. So you see it's going to look, there's 2 pinch twists, and you're going to do 3 of them all in the same spot in the end, so that it kind of looks like that. And then you're going to, just like you did with the nose, you're just going to kind of flip it into the white piece, into the shirt, to be the tie. And you're going to measure it off to the size that you want it, and let the air out of the remainder, tie it off, and cut it. And then so it looks like this right now. What I'll usually do is then I'll put stripes on the tie. Again, I really want to make sure that people read it as a tie and that their mind doesn't go into the gutter. Like so. So you see we got the striped tie, and there he is. We added the artwork. Really all I do is just 3 dots for the sponge pattern on his, on his face. You could put dots all over, but you don't need to. That kind of gives the effect. It shows people, what it is, without making it too chaotic. Also, Sharpie, if it gets wet or when the balloon pops, can reliquify. So you want to try to do as much artwork as necessary, but not too much. And then also you see that I colored the eyeballs blue. Now, if I was using a plain white balloon, then I would probably draw, big black circles, and then color it blue, and then put more black in the center or something like that. But I really like these eyeball prints by Qualitex. So there is your Sponge Guy parody that kids and adults alike love from my Snap Guide. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more tutorials, you can look at the rest of the videos on my channel here, or you can go to snapguide.com and look up Sandy Missouri. You can also go to my websites at balloonutopia.com and marketwithballoons.com. So, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for a special offer. Thank you so much, and have a great day or night.